All right, guys. So what we're going to be doing now is we're going to be having a transition clinic. A lot of people are unsure how to set up transitions or how to set them up efficiently. When you come into big races like this, where you have 2,000, 3,000 bikes, space is tight, it's narrow. We're putting 8 bikes on a rack, so you're going to end up, when you come in there, you're going to be seeing tight spaces like this, okay? When you come in to rack your bikes, if you haven't already, you'll see stickers that are on here, and those stickers are going to be corresponding with your bib numbers, and you'll notice that they're not directly on top of the rack, okay? They're going to be slightly to this side, slightly to that side. Whatever side your number is on is the side that the front of your bike needs to be on, okay? So you'll put your saddle basically over that so that your front tire is down on the same side as your number. Jen, one of my athletes, was nice enough to lend me her bike, and because it's Eagleman, it's actually demonstrating something for those of you with small bikes. Your bike may not be on the ground, okay? If that's the case, there's oftentimes not a lot you can really do about it. If you have a rear system like this, but without one of these storage boxes, you can actually rack from that, and so you would be able to actually rack your bike this way. Her box is in the way, but you could rack it like this, and now your wheel's going to be on the ground. So if you have a rear hydration system, use it as your mounting point on your rack, okay? It'll keep your bike from swaying in the breeze. If you don't have one, or you have something like this that prohibits that, you're kind of at the mercy of the wind a little bit, okay? So we got 2 bikes set up here so you can see this is roughly the amount of space that you are going to have, okay? Your gear is gonna go on the same side as your front tire, your front wheel, right? And it's gonna be on either side. There's no official rule as to what side it goes on. Usually what happens is the first person that gets there and sets up on that rack picks their side, and then we all just follow along, okay? So if this one, say here, it's on the right hand side, the next bike that would be here, same basic principle, okay? If you are this bike, this space under the wheel is still technically yours. It is really hard to get to. I'm good, Dave. I asked not to.
You okay?
I'm loud.
Cool, we got you.
But thank you. So this space is technically yours. Now, you don't want to put anything under there that you need in a hurry, because you're going to be over here and that's going to be hard to get to. But say you have your wetsuit tomorrow, your swim stuff, whatever that you need to drop, that's a perfect spot to put it, because you don't have anything else that's going to be there, right? So when you're running in and you got a handful of stuff to get rid of, under your rear wheel is still your space. Put it there, then it's out of the way. You don't have to fumble around it trying to get to the rest of your stuff when you're transitioning later in either T1 or T2. The best thing that you can do for tomorrow is to set up a transition that is easy for you to work through. The more you have to think in transition, the more likely you are to make a mistake or forget something. Okay, so when you guys go and set up, think about your process of going for a bike ride every day you've been training, going for a run every day you've been training, because most likely you get ready the same way every time. We all have patterns and rhythms that we naturally fall into. You put your right shoe on before your left. You put your helmet on, first. Your sunglasses, Think about what your normal process is, and you want your transition to reflect that. So I'm very neat and tidy with mine. Because things are narrow, stacking them vertically like this instead of side by side makes it a whole lot easier for you. You don't have to worry about somebody kicking your stuff, because it's gonna be scattered and crazy in transition. And so that really helps with that. What's up?
Oh, no, sorry, I'm just thinking.
Oh, I was like, is that a question or is he waving? Well, hi. So stacking them vertically makes it a lot easier to make use of your space. If you have aero bars and you have a helmet that you can set up on there like that, right? That makes life so much easier, okay? It'll still work with a bottle in there. If you have, say, a big aero helmet, like she's got this monster mount, Mine usually just sits just like that. And what you would want it to do is you want to prep your helmet to put it on, okay? Loosen up your crank in the back so that it's easier to put on your head. Open your straps and hang them over the sides, right? So that when it's time to put your helmet on, and also make sure it's facing you this way so that you literally can just take it off and put it right on your head. It should be the first thing you do when you're getting on the bike. Put your helmet on and snap it, okay? Clip it. You cannot take your bike off the rack unless this is on and buckled. That is a penalty. So the first thing you should do is put it on, okay? And buckle it. Sunglasses, however you want to do it, if you're using a visor. If I was doing sunglasses, I would actually put my sunglasses in here like this. Because you're gonna want your sunglasses to be under your strap, so when you take your helmet off later, your sunglasses aren't in the way. So I would put them in like that so I can slip them right on my face, put my helmet right on. It doesn't have to be fast, but the goal is no wasted time, right? Transition is where good overall times go to die in this sport. Because if you're not prepped, or if you're overthinking, what should be 3-4 minutes becomes 8 to 10 in a hurry. Or if you're doing an Ironman, it becomes 20 minutes in a hurry. And now you're not having near as much fun, and now you're anxious about stuff that's going on out there. So sunglasses to helmet, or if you're not using sunglasses, straight to helmet first. Shoes, it's kind of 50-50 split, who rides with socks and who rides without socks. That's personal preference. I'm not going to tell you which one to do. I personally don't use them on the bike, but I've been doing it forever. If you're going to be using socks, fold them in half. Take your socks, open them up, and literally fold them in half. If you fold them in half and stick them in the top of your shoe like that, you can literally now just pull and it'll flip and come right on all by itself. I know, right? That's why you're here, because I see the excitement.
Exactly, I know. Thank you.
The other thing, prep your shoes, okay? If you're using a road shoe that's got 2 boas on it that you have to, tighten, pull them and pull the tongue up. If it's a tri shoe, flip that strap and pull it all the way to the lock point so it's wide open. These ones work from the back, so I would just open this so that I can just slide my foot right in. The other thing is, if you, depending on the shoe you have and the comfort and stuff like that, if you prep it, I can literally walk up in transition, I put my helmet on and I just step into my shoes because they're the closest thing to me on the ground. Do you have to do it? No, of course not. It should be what's comfortable to you. But anything, like I said, that you can do to make it more efficient, it's just gonna make your day easier, okay? Obviously, when you're coming in from the bike, we're not trying to keep stuff pretty anymore, right? Like, you set it up pretty when you start, but you're pulling shoes off and you're flinging things everywhere. That's okay. Just make sure you're keeping it under your bike. And when you come in, like if I had my transition area tucked back like it's supposed to be, when I'm coming off the bike, my shoes would stay on the bike. But if they weren't, and I was running in them like a lot of people do, I would literally take them off and chuck them back under that rear wheel, so that now they're, again, not in my way, okay? For the run, if you're going to socks on the run, same basic principle, but the run transition is really where people get kind of wonky and messed up in their time, right? You got a hat, a visor, sunglasses, a number belt, your gels, your shoes, your socks, you got all this stuff going on. The key here to remember is that your shoes and socks are the only thing that you can't deal with while you're working through transition. Okay.
You mentioned number belts going on the run. Aren't we wearing the number belt on the ride?
Not a requirement.
Really?
Nope. No. Ironman does not require number belts on the bike.
Because your number's on the bike.
Your number's on the bike, it's on your helmet, it's in 2 spots on. Some people do. If you're one of those people that wants to wear it on the bike because you just want to clip it on, that's fine. Little piece of advice, spin the number forward so that it's not just flapping behind you for 56 miles, bugging the crap out of you. If you flip it forward, you'll crunch it up in about 2 minutes and it'll just sit there and you'll forget all about it. But no, you're not required to wear it. So what I do And now I'm gonna take my hat off and scare you all with this terrible hair. I forgot a second hat. So I would have a visor. So my stuff would literally be set up like that at the back of my mat. Okay, my shoes are on top because my shoes and socks are the only thing that I need right now. I put those on and then I just pick up my hat. It can have gels in it or whatever as well. And I start leaving transition. I can put all this stuff on while I'm running, walking, whatever. And it's, again, it's more of that where time goes to die, right? Standing around and fiddling with untwisting your number belt and doing this and doing that. Like, now you're just standing here doing nothing while you're trying to work through it. Just start walking and do it. The other thing we see a ton of, I get it, I used to do it too. When you put your number belt on, we all try really hard, right? To make sure that it's nice and pretty and it's exactly and flat and square. Guess what? It doesn't matter if it's twisted, if it's crooked. It doesn't look as good in your photos, but it doesn't matter. So if you're trying to put it on and you're wrestling with it and you're trying to untangle it, you don't really need to. Just take that thing and snap it on. Nobody's gonna notice that in your pictures. They're gonna notice the fact that you look like you're dying and every run photo looks like this, right? And then all of a sudden you get to the finish line and you look like a supermodel because you get the burst of energy. Nobody on your social media is gonna notice that your number belt's twisted, okay? So I stuff everything in my hat. If you're wearing a visor, right, you don't have something to hold it all in, but I would do the same principle. I would just put it in the center of my visor under my shoes, because usually with a visor, you're just gonna kind of grab it from the back anyway and pick it up and start walking. So you just scoop everything together and just start, even if you're just walking, right? You're walking, getting your heart rate down. You can do these things while being productive towards covering your 70.3 miles that are actually more than that, because we don't count the distance in transition, but you still have to cover a few hundred more yards. So make sure that if you do that, you can be accomplishing something while moving forward, just the same as you are on the rest of the course. I know people look at it, especially for say a 70.3 or full, and they look at mine and they think it just looks way too simple and I'm missing a bunch of stuff. That's intentional. If you say, well, it might be chilly in the morning, let me bring this jacket. Well, I might need this. Well, I might need that. The more stuff that you put in here, the more complicated it gets, okay? And the more confusing it gets. So the reality is, when you get out and you race tomorrow, or any race in the future, yeah, let's just say, which won't be the case here, but let's say it's 60 degrees when you guys get on the bike. I promise it'll be warmer than that. But let's say it is, and at home, it's 60 degrees, I ride with arm warmers and whatever. At home, when you go out for a ride, you're starting cold, right? And your adrenaline's not pumping and your mind's not racing and all these other things that are happening. 60 degrees on race day, you're not gonna need your arm warmers if that's what you would use at home, okay? Yeah, if there's a chance of rain and you want a jacket or something, I can understand that. Although the reality is you're getting on your bike soaking wet anyway. So is it really gonna matter? No, but if you're one of those people, I can get it. But anything that is going to be optional should be the very last thing in your pile. Okay, so if you're worried, for the bike or whatever, then you got your shoes, it should be under that stuff. If it's something for the run, it should be the very last thing on the ground, so that you go through the necessities and the stuff you need without having to think about it. But you don't have to wrestle stuff out of the way and oh, I go to move my arm warmers and it flipped my sock over here, and that kind of thing. So just setting it up clean and efficient makes it really easy, and it makes less chance of mistakes. It's actually way simpler than y'all thought it was, right? Like, it's just until you look at it, you don't think about it, right? Does anybody have any questions about that? I know I was kind of running through it quick. I was trying not to keep you guys out here baking too long. You guys are pretty easy. If anybody wants help over in transition, I'll go help you. We can walk over there and look at it and do all that kind of stuff. I'm more than happy to do it. It's just something that I get 1,000 questions about every year, and I've had a bunch of talks about it, but just usually person to person. And so it's like, well, let's just actually set one up real quick, because you don't know until you know, right? And it's same for me. It took me about 6 or 7 years to get the system that I wanted that worked for me. But I've been using this setup for 10 years. So once you find what works for you, run with it. And it's not going to help you today, but how many of you actually practice transition? I'm surprised there were any hands, but three out of 50. All right, we're going to get 6%. All right, obviously not today, but practice running through it once in a while as your lead up to a race, especially like your first race of the year, and it's been 6 months and it's been cold, and and you've been grinding away in your little pain cave and swifting your heart out, or I guess I should say Ruby, right, because the Ironman thing. But just run through it once or twice. The other thing you can do, and this happens a lot, is we all worry about whether or not we have all our stuff packed and this, that, and the other. At home, when I'm packing for a trip, I lay my transition out, because then I forgot to grab this that I'm gonna need. It's like when you lay your flat person out for your run to take your picture. It's the same concept. I put everything out as if I'm setting up a transition when I'm packing my gear bag, and then I know I'm not forgetting a number belt. I'm not forgetting this. I'm not forgetting any of the things that I need for race day. So it doubles as a sanity check. And if I'm traveling somewhere, say I'm flying or something, I'll set it up, and then I'll kind of just explode it all out and take a picture of it. So that then when I'm sitting at an airport waiting on a connection and I'm stressing about whether or not I did or didn't pack something, I can just pull up the picture and be like, nope, it's in there. I took a picture of it. That's a really good tip I usually give for people doing the fulls, because you got to drop bags off the day before. Is it's like, lay it out, take a picture of it, drop your bag off, because when you freak out at 9 o'clock at night, you can look at the picture and know that it's packed. Same principle applies. Yep.
Quick question. Sunscreen, do you have any tips on efficient ways of dealing with it in the bike or in the...
Yeah. So sunscreen, we have sunscreen stations that will be there that are they'll have sprays, and then they'll also have lotion type as well. I don't know the volunteer status as to how full it is. Usually if we have enough volunteers, we actually have people in there to sunscreen you. But I haven't seen the final number on that, so I don't want to say something that may not be the case. So I'm a big fan, from racing here for 18 years, of as much coverage as humanly possible in my gear. Obviously it's too late to change gear now, but sprays are obviously way faster to apply, but the thing is, depending on what the wind's doing, it's going to move around. So if I will use a spray, but then as I'm working my way out, I'll actually rub my arms to make sure that I get more coverage and I don't end up with like a goofy strip here or there. One thing that's pro tip, nowadays things have changed a lot with one-piece kits and all that. Eagleman historically is notoriously known for a very particular 2 sunburns. One is called Angel Wings, which is the one that goes right here where your sleeveless tri-top pulls in and you never get there. And the other one is the Eagleman Tramp Stamp, which is when you're riding and your kit creeps up just a little bit right there, and you end up with a burn across your waist that will stick with you for years. That's how we long time. That's how you used to tell people that did Eagleman. You'd see them at the end of June at some event, and they're changing their top, and it's like, oh, you got an Eagleman Tramp Stamp. Like, it's a legit thing. So when you're sunscreening tomorrow morning before you get in the water, if you're wearing a sleeveless top, have someone get these areas for you. Get the sunscreen actually under your kit, because what happens is we put it on, we're dry, and everything sits flat, and then you get on your bike and you hunch and you do this, and it gets skinnier back there, right? Your kit kind of contracts a little bit. So if you're just hitting the exposed skin initially, you're now going to have new skin that doesn't have sunscreen on it. So get that up in there, and make sure also to get that lower back if you're racing in a two-piece. Obviously, if you're racing with sleeves or one piece, neither of those are issues. And that's what I would race with here now, because the less stuff I have to worry about getting burnt, the better, because there's no protection out here. It's high UV, it's very exposed. You will get sun. So cover those couple areas up. I actually meant to talk about that and forgot, so thank you for reminding me of that. Anybody else have any questions? All right, you guys are tired and anxious and ready to go. So I'm gonna cut you guys loose. If anybody wants help in there, just grab me, I'll walk over with y'all. Otherwise, drop your bikes, go get lunch, and go get off your feet. Get out of the sun, all right? All right, guys, have a good one. Yeah, so you can, is it a full zipper?
Yes.
So you can unzip it, but you can't take the zipper off. It has to stay, and you can't fold it down. It has to, if it's a top, it has to stay up on the shoulders, but it can be unzipped all the way, just not disconnected.
Got it, thank you.
One other one.
Yeah.
Bike tires in the morning.
Yep. There will be about 300 pumps in transition that Ironman provides, and then 2,000 of your friends are also going to bring theirs. Do not bring a pump.
That's what I always used to, right?
What's your number? I'll tell you if you're near me.
I forget.
Do not bring a pump.
Did it tell you on there?
Yeah. No, you're not near me.
All right,
So,
somebody.
okay, so don't bring